Hello everyone, this is the Android aka the German Viking, and I saw this article on cbr.com, and yeah, they're at it. I wanted to make a break on the Brie Larson stuff. So, Man of Tomorrow, does Superman need to be white? Michael B. Jordan is no stranger to superhero movies, so we're gonna start with Michael B. Jordan. He has to be Superman now. Really? Okay, first, if we're gonna go by that track record, one of them bombed, and one is where he played a villain. So, he endured playing Johnny Storm in the 2015 Fantastic Four before finding much greater success as the villainous Eric Killmonger in Black Panther. As recently as last fall, rumors abounded that the rising star was going to add an even bigger superhero role to his resume, arguably the biggest superhero role there is, as Warner Brothers reportedly sought to recalibrate its plans for DC Extended Universe following the apparent exit of Henry Cavill. This was basically just made up by media, not by Warner Brothers. No, Warner Brothers didn't say they were done with Henry Cavill. So it was outlets like yours that perpetuated the idea that we needed a black superhero, or not black superhero, a black Superman. John was said to be under consideration to play Superman. Yeah, according to you. Recently, on the February 16th episode of Oprah Winfrey's Super Souls Conversation, Jordan acknowledged these rumors. He said that was flattered by the rumors, but would be reluctant to take up the role of the traditional Clark Kent Superman because they are inevitable comparisons to previous portrayals. Showing off his comic book bona fides, he suggests he was more interested in playing Calvin Ellis, the Superman of Earth 23. See? Even this guy knows more than the outlet, it seems, because basically blackwashing the most known superhero would be disgusting to see. To be honest, Alice was created by Grant Morrison and Doug Mankey for the 2009 Final Crisis event, and unlike Kent, was created as a black superhero model of Barack Obama and Muhammad Ali. You see, that is perfectly acceptable. And this is perfectly acceptable because it's not Prime Superman or even Earth 2 or Earth 3. You have Ultraman as well, where Superman is basically evil. And I wouldn't have any issues with that, but making Clark Kent black, I would have huge issues with. That would probably also mean that they would also change the parents, Jonathan and Martha Kent, to black people. That would probably also happen, even though he's technically adopted. But that would probably happen as well if they're going that direction. Jordan said he thinks the comic book purists can accept that more than me being Clark Kent. Left unspoken is that Jordan's already been on that particular end of controversy over playing traditional white Johnny Storm. Yeah, again, he already has played a blackwashed character, and I find it hard to accept when they change characters like this. Stay true to the roots and play them as they are on big screen. There's no need to change them to appease to be virtue signals and to change the character just to appease SJWs. While memories of that fury have mostly faded due to the 2000 Fantastic Four having far more for comic facts to complain about than just some non-traditional casting, it's clear to everyone that there's a certain segment of fandom that gets angry anytime a traditional white character gets reimagined as a person of color, or changing just any character to a minority, changing a Starfire to a black person suddenly. Why? Why does that even need to happen? And I'm the exact same. I stay on my principles and my consistency. If it's the other way around, I don't want a black character to suddenly turn white because I am consistent that way, but these people are not. Some of those fans are the purists. Jordan talks about being potentially more accepting of Calvin Ellis or other characters who share the mantle of white heroes but are separate characters. Of course, a significant portion of those same fans get angry about legacy heroes of color or even about original heroes of color getting too much attention. See the backlash against Black Panther's Best Picture nomination. Oh my god. Oh my god. They really went there. Okay. First of all, there is no one that had an issue with Black Panther as a character. He was awesome in Civil War, okay? And who is actively going out and say they don't want black superheroes? That's only the fringe of the fringe, the real racists. And no, people got angry about the Best Picture nomination because it's an average movie, and the only reason why that movie was nominated was because it was mostly all black cast, and it was super popular. And the Oscars have been becoming more and more irrelevant, and so they had to nominate something that was popular and make people tune into the horrible show that is the Oscars. And they continue. Arguing with purists merely concerned about canon might be more productive than those who just get angry about any heroes of color. Again, you have to give a citation. Give us a citation. You can't just make these claims about people or fans in general. This is, again, never attack your audience. But they have no problem doing this. But it's still a challenge. Those interested in seeing a black Superman on big screen can sidestep such arguments by requesting a Calvin Ellis movie. But let's say Warner Brothers isn't going to make a Calvin Ellis movie, but instead a Black Clark Kent movie. How do you defend that to the purists? You don't, because it's stupid. You can't defend changing the race or the gender of a character. That's just lazy writing and lazy casting. First, you can try to get them to acknowledge that being a comic book purist is something of a contradiction for fans or heroes with as long as and storied a history as Superman. If we were purists about Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster's original 1938 comics, Superman wouldn't be able to fly and Kryptonite wouldn't exist. Well, there are different iterations, and he's been changed throughout the years through reboots and things like that. You're supposed to be a comic book outlet and know this. Do I have to explain this stuff to you? Those were radio show inventions. Our whole concept of the character is a result of many artists over the years making changes big and small. Changing Superman's skin color would be just another alternate take on the character. No, it wouldn't. No, it would not. No, 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 no. You're changing something that is big about the character. Oh my god, it is amazing. They just want to change characters for the sake of diversity, and here they're gonna go with the Aquaman. For evidence of how this sort of change can work amazingly well in a blockbuster movie, just look at Aquaman. Arthur Curry has always been a blonde-haired, blue-eyed in the comics, but on screen he's played by a mixed race Jason Momoa. The casting was untraditional, but Momoa was a ton of fun in the role, and his mixed race identity added real-world relatability to the character's caught in between worlds dynamic. Lest we forget, the movie is also the highest-grossing DC film at the worldwide box office. Yeah, but that's because women went to see this guy, so it was a really good casting by them. I didn't feel that he was completely true to Arthur Curry as a character, and they didn't change him in the comic books to appease like they did with Nick Fury, and suddenly made him black because Samuel L. Jackson was black. So yeah, I mean I like the movie, but I'm gonna say it. It's not true to the character that is in the comic books, and they had to get some name to get people to watch this because Aquaman is a lesser known character. So the film itself is okay or good. I liked it. but it's still not true to the character. I'm gonna be consistent. Fans might have been more receptive to such casting for Aquaman, given not many would call themselves huge of the much mocked original character in the first place. Superman is a bigger part of people's lives, and it's hard for many to see Superman as anyone but a white guy. He's not a white guy, he's an alien. Except technically Superman isn't Caucasian, he's Kryptonian. Exactly. Superman is a member of a fantasy alien race. There's no reason fantasy alien has to be played by a white guy. In fact, scientifically speaking, there's actually reason to believe that beings dependent on absorbing solar radiation from power would be darker skin. Oh my god. They're from a different galaxy. Jesus freaking Christ. But let's ignore the scientific plausibility for now, and instead focus on meaning. Well, again, I have to stop. Now you're inferring science, but you're perfectly intent to. Oh, he didn't fly in the beginning, and how does he fly? Actually, can you explain that scientifically? No, you can't. So this is cherry picking at its finest. Superman is an alien because Superman represents the outsider. He's able to assimilate to pass as part of the majority, but he's a minority. Siegel and Schuster were both children of Jewish immigrants at a time when Jews and other immigrant groups didn't have a social status of whiteness in America. If you wanted to directly capture the original metaphorical power of their vision and translate it to the present day, you don't cast a white actor, but someone like Oscar Isaac or Rami Malek, actors of color, who could. Oh my God, are you seriously advocating for the jeez? And they wouldn't pass as Superman. They're too small, and they're not white. Actors of color who can pass enough to play white characters. Isaac's critical breakout was playing the Welsh protagonist of Inside Llewyn Davis's Malek got the audition for Han Solo. Yeah, but he didn't get the role now, did he? And there would be massive outrage if he had gotten it. Of course, the black experience in America is wildly different from the experience of other minorities. Oh my God. You really went there. Holy hell. The first African Americans were not immigrants, but rather brought to this country by force. Yeah, and who are they sold by? The black people. Just saying. A black Superman is a radical change from the assimilated immigrant vision of Superman. A black Clark Kent would hide his powers. Could hide his powers, but he could never hide being part of a minority group. Jesus freaking Christ. This extreme visibility, the inability to hide his outsiderness, would be even more dramatic if he still adopted by a white family in Kansas. It's not the traditional Superman dynamic, but it's potentially a very interesting one. No, it's not a very interesting one. You're just making stuff up now. We're finally at the last paragraph. Truth, justice, and an American way has fallen out of fashion with the franchise in recent decades. According to whom? Are you the arbiter of this? But with Black Superman, the seemingly antiquated slogan is giving a new meaning. It becomes a question and an examination of or a debate about criminal justice, inequality, and so forth. Again, you're inserting stuff. You're projecting now. You want to this in a Superman. Translating an immigrant allegory to an African American allegory requires shaking up some details. No, it does not. It really does not. Well, let's make Black Panther white then, because it would also represent an outsider story in Africa, and someone getting power from an outsider's perspective. But you also advocated for Iron Fist to be Asian, because that would be it's a racist for a white guy, even though the character is white and he's supposed to be an outsider. That's the entire point of the character and the comic and the show. Is for him, he is an outsider in Kunlun. Just admit it. Just admit it. You don't want a white superhero because you're the racist here. That's why you're advocating. No, we should no longer. We should have Batman being a trans black chick. Superman has to be a black guy. Well, let's just remove all the white superheroes to appease you. Sexist and racist bastards that want to remove everything because it doesn't suit your narrative. Jesus Christ. Translating, let's see, requires shaking up some details, but this new take on Superman could prove just as inspirational whether they present him as Calvin Ellis or call him Clark Kent. If Warner Brothers decides to make the next Superman black, there's no reason to get angry and plenty of reason to get excited. Yeah, according to you. You racist bastards. I'm really getting angry about this because Superman is one of the characters that has inspired me just in life generally, and I really like the character. I get really angry by this, and we're just gonna ignore that. We already had a mixed race Superman. Are we just gonna forget that? Really? Dean Cain, he played it in the 90s. That's not acceptable. But I really didn't have an issue with that. He should have had blue contacts when he played the role, but that's just minor issues. But again, don't change the character that are already established. And they're trying to do this with all sorts of characters. They did it with Dark Tower. They're gonna try it with all other books and movies and games or whatever to appease these SJWs, because these racist and sexist outlets don't want to see what the characters really are, why people resonate with them. They infect culture and want to change it just because it's popular, and now they can affect it with their ideology. This is disgusting to see. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.